All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. NASDAQ is bouncing back up. We've had a string of different earnings that have showed up this morning. All right, guys. Good morning. Yeah, track all this. We've had Yum Brands. We had Shopify post 343 million. They expected 311. Third quarter revenue showed up at 2.84 billion. Expected 2.76. So Shopify posted numbers here. You can see the NASDAQ's pretty down today. Shopify is mixed in their reaction to their earnings here. We also had Yum Brands and some other ones. Uber posted numbers as well. Uber ended up posting 13.476 billion in revenue, 49.74 billion in gross bookings. Free cash flow at 2.23 billion, net income 6.626 billion. Outlook looked fourth quarter bookings 52.25 to 53.75. So a slight uptick this holiday season. And again, the market's mostly down this morning. Again, NASDAQ tested that 200 exponential. We had Uber earnings. I'm still looking at some of the other ones. Uber EPS was 311, by the way. ADM posted numbers. APO. Ferrari posted numbers. A couple other ones. Yeah, NASDAQ dropping significantly. We are now tied for the longest shutdown in history. We are now tied. Again, the longest previous shutdown was 35 days. Today is day 35. We go to tomorrow, which is pretty freaking likely. It will effectively be the longest shutdown in history. Palantir posted earnings yesterday. They are gapping down from their earnings report here. They are not reacting well to it. Went up to 222s and then just kind of trickled all the way back down to 192.40s today. Again, Elon's 1 trillion pay package got no from Norway. Historically, the fund hasn't been a bellwether. Michael Burry challenges the AI trade with big short bets on Nvidia and Palantir. So Michael Burry is now shorting Palantir and Nvidia. He's bought put options covering 5 million shares of Palantir, a trade valued at about 912 billion, almost, or 912 million, I'm sorry. Almost $1 billion, and puts 1 million shares of Nvidia. Puts for 1 million shares of Nvidia. So he bought put options on Palantir and Nvidia. I was hoping this would get this. Here, hold on. Let me find somebody else. Yeah. Nvidia CEO says Germany will be one of the largest AI markets in the world and can't wait to invest even more. We got that going on. Starbucks is selling control of their China business to private equity. Mike Gitlin, who oversee about $3 trillion. He's the president and CEO of investment manager Capital Group. He said corporate earnings are strong, but what's challenging are valuations. There's some valuations question. We also have OPEC Plus that they're going to resume oil production revival after the first quarter pause. According to HSBC, they said we expect quota hikes to accelerate later in second and third quarter. Also, former Vice President Dick Cheney passed away. Rest in peace. Deutsche Telekom and Nvidia are launching a €1 billion industrial AI cloud partnership. Fed also injected another $24 billion into the U.S. banking system. That's $125 billion. injection over the last 5 days. If we take a look at yields this morning, we might be able to see if there's any reasoning behind everything. Yields are back under 4.1%. Yesterday they were over it. Again, so here's yields. You can see they're actually down. We put a 5-day chart up. They are down a little bit today. A little bit. Not a huge amount. I mean, they're still around 4.1%. But yields are somewhat down here. If we take a look at the Fed odds, the odds of a 25 basis point cut have actually increased. So we are now at 72% likely for rate cuts next meeting. 25 basis point cut, at almost 28% chance of a pause in December. And let me know in chat right now which one you guys think. You guys think we're going to cut or pause next week or next month? Again, we had Pfizer earnings. They showed up at 87 cents versus 73 expected. 16.65 billion versus 17 expected. They missed revenue. Net income 3.54 outlook 61 to 64 billion out for the fiscal year. EPS between 3 and 3.15 reaffirmed guidance. I'm assuming Pfizer's down on the revenue miss. They're down a little bit. Nasdaq's starting to fight its way back up though. Again, so the Nvidia CEO is on a call right now. They said Germany will be one of the largest AI markets in the world and can't wait for us to invest even more. Again, mixed earnings reactions is mostly what's causing the market to go down. Yeah, Uber's out. Uber ended up posting here. I'll find it if I can. Hold on. Here, these are Uber Q3 earnings right here. Yeah, Palantir kind of needed to correct. Let's just be honest here. PE ratio is wild. You know, this doesn't mean much for Palantir, though. I mean, it's a $20 drop. It's not small for sure. Today we have AMD earnings coming out later. So AMD is at 253. So AMD earnings are releasing later. That'll be big. And we're starting to actually see some red. But honestly, the market's starting to fight its way back up. We'll see what happens here. If we take a look at the NQ, the previous closing price on the NASDAQ is at 26.1. We're at 25.7. So we are down. Even with this latest move up here, we're still, this is the gap between where we closed yesterday and where we actually are now in the NASDAQ. Here's the previous closing price right here. So just to put that number into perspective, that number is about right here. Right, so here's the previous close. And here is where we are now. So that's the gap overnight for the NASDAQ here. The S&P, we can take a look at the S&P gap as well if you guys want. Gap in the S&P is $6,884. That would be about right here. The gap in the S&P is about this. So this is the gap from where it closed yesterday in the S&P 500. So NASDAQ markets, S&P markets down. Again, mostly due to fear of tech valuations, I would say, and earnings. Most tech stocks are down. Amazon, Apple, Google, Nvidia, AMD, Palantir, TSM, like most tech stocks, microchip stocks are down this morning. So if we take a look at gold, gold's testing 4,000 again. The gold is right at 4K. It's been dipping a little bit this morning. Kind of flat though for markets here. We're not really moving. And again, today marks the tie for the longest shutdown in history. 35 days. We're now shut down for 35 days. What's up, Kato? What's up, Shavo? What's up, Relax? Yeah, so originally AI told me that ISM data was today. And I said, today we don't have ISM data. And they're like, wait, you're right. This is literally what they said. They said the economic calendar is a mess right now. And it's easy to get the reports mixed up. I don't think they're necessarily wrong either, but it's just funny that they would talk to me like a person in that context. Yeah, we're going to look at some stocks early. I might buy the dip and some stuff, but we will see. Do you think the earnings on AMD is baked into the current price? At least a little bit for sure. Here's gold testing 4,000. This is 4,000 even on gold. I almost want to buy this in gold. I will try to buy 4K. Let's try. There a micro gold? There is. Okay, I'm going to buy that instead. Oh, we're buying 4,000 right here. Yeah, Bitcoin struggle. All the way down to 104s, hit 103s in Bitcoin futures earlier. So Bitcoin struggling for sure. Here's Bitcoin right here. 100K is the line in the sand, I think, for it. No? What do you guys think? Will it hold over 100,000 in the next 2 weeks? Things are looking a little bit more dovish this morning. The odds of rate cuts went up, you know. Again, Nasdaq's down about 1%. Stocks pull back. Dow. I mean, I'm not going to get into the political race there. I'm just not going to do it. All right, we're going to add right at 4,000 and hope gold bounces right at 4K. Let's see. It's a small trade right now. There we go. We're in 4,000. See if we bounce at 4K. There's 4,000 right there. What a drop in gold, though. Got slammed down here. And then bounced right back. Let's see if it holds. Yeah, I gotta cut this probably. Risk management makes me cut it. We'll give the rest maybe a second here. I don't want to like get myself in too much trouble here just because like every day's been green and like I don't want to force it so much to where I have to end green and I lose big. So I'm just going to slowly scale out of this. Gold broke under 4,000 though. Clean. And yeah, I think I just got to get out right here. Yeah, you don't love to see it, but it happens. It's okay. Nasdaq's starting to fight its way back up, though. Let's see if the Nasdaq holds here. All right, so China's vice premier, he met with Goldman Sachs' chairman, according to according to a source. All right, guys, Nasdaq's starting to fight its way back up, though. It is opening pretty red on the day here. See what else we got. Again, Bitcoin looking weak. Gold's still falling. Under 4,000. Nvidia is still red. They're all pretty red on the day. I mean, yeah, Bitcoin. Again, look at it. It's down to 104s. Gold's still dropping here. Look at this. $39.96, back under 4,000. I think it kind of needed to happen short term for gold as well, though. I think gold kind of needed to correct a little bit. It's been up so much. Gold is so up over the last year or more that it was never going to hold short term. I think it needed to pull back. It might continue higher, but I think this pullback that we've seen really over the last like 3 to 4 weeks is necessary. See if gold stops now. It's under the VWAP too, though. It's looking weak. Bitcoin's looking weak. Nvidia is doing okay. It's trying to get back up there. Palantir down pretty big from their earnings. Yeah, Palantir earnings. They beat EPS in revenue. They boosted fourth quarter guidance on AI adoption as well. So again, they beat EPS, beat revenue. Government sales been essential to their ascent, grew 52% from a year ago. But I mean, you also have to understand, Palantir's up 170% this year, right? So like Palantir's already up a ridiculous amount. And the news is a little quiet. We would have had this week if the government wasn't shut down. We would have had Jolts today at 10 a.m. ISM services and ADP non-farm employment are still dropping tomorrow. So ADP employment drops tomorrow at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. That's the next big report, to be honest. It's expected at 25,000, 25K. We're not going to have jobless claims, of course. We're not going to have, we would have had the labor report on Friday, but we're not getting that either now. Also, CPI was supposed to come out next week as well. But I don't think we're getting that either. It's not a new record yet. If it doesn't end today, it's a new record. Today would be day 35, chat. So today would be day 35 of the government shutdown. If you count it, today is the 4th, and there's 31 days in October. And so if the shutdown started October 1st, That's 31 days plus 4. That's 35 days today. The longest on record is 35 days. If it does not end today, it will be tomorrow is the record, basically. Like, if we last until tomorrow, we've effectively broken the record to 36 days. That's where we're at now with the government shutdown. Today's not the record day yet. Hey, what's up, Faye? Jolts doesn't come out. It's a government. Jolts is government data. The Jolts job opening report. It's done by the same people that do CPI, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And so they're not coming out today, unfortunately. The last time they released, they were supposed to come out on November 4th, which is today, but they're not coming out, unfortunately, because the government shut down. Oh, yeah, so Jolts is delayed. Government's still shut down. Nvidia said Jefferies lifted Nvidia's price target at $240 on strong AI demand. They raised it from 220 to 240, citing surging AI compute demand and improved order visibility. They kept the buy rating but dropped Nvidia from its franchise pick list. Analyst Blaine Curtis said Nvidia remains the AI accelerator leader, with hyperscalers like Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic racing to secure compute capacity. They now see $500 billion order pipeline for this year and next year, and lifted revenue forecasts to $293 billion for next year and $384 billion for 2027, expecting EPS above 10 by 2027 for Nvidia. Again, gold under 4,000, Bitcoin at 104s, Nvidia at 203s, Palantir all the way down to the 190 level, Apple sitting 266, Google sitting at 278. AMD drops earnings today. They're at 253. We also had Uber earnings. A lot of stuff underwhelmingly reacted to earnings today. We had Yum Brands. They're the only one that's really doing good today that I'm seeing. Uber down, Shopify flat. And so we're not really getting any super good reactions to earnings either. Palantir yesterday had good EPS, good revenue, raised guidance, and they're down about, what, 10%? What is that? Or wait, they might be down 20%. How much is Palantir down? Yeah, Palantir's down $17 a share in a $200 company. So almost 10%. Not quite 10%, but almost. Yeah, Jolts is government data is produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Unfortunately, I would love to get Jolts, but we're not. Here, I gotta ask. Yeah, so again, AI told me that the ADP non-farm employment change weekly report that they're now going to be doing, they're going to be doing once weekly report on Tuesday at 8:15 every day. But AI said they're not going to do it today since they're releasing the full monthly report tomorrow, right? And I just want to confirm, because you know how AI goes. Sometimes they just say things. But I need to confirm. I told him to give me sources. Because I need sources here, you know. Welcome to the start of the recession. Buffett is stacked in cash for a reason. It'll definitely feed you nonsense half the time, but that's okay. I've accepted that about AI, you know? Give me sources. The official announcement for the new weekly report explicitly states the schedule. It lists 11.5 monthly report and 11.11 weekly prelim. Confirms they are skipping the week. All right, I got to go to ADP Media Center here. It's always good to confirm. Bro, give me the sources, AI. Palantir will be fine. Yeah, I think Palantir is going to be fine long term. I think the question right now is, are we overvalued in technology? What do you guys think in chat? Are we overvalued in technology? Let me do a poll here. Is the microchip tech sector currently overvalued? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. That poll is now live. See what people think here. You must charge a premium for excellence, as I'm assuming what you said. All right, looking at the poll, we're pretty 60-40 split. 62% of people, or 60% of people think yes, 40% of people think no right now. Is the tech microchip sector currently overvalued? Let's see if this grows a little bit into a deeper number here through all this stuff. Let's see if it's overvalued. Okay, so here's the ADP site. AI did send me a source here. Blah, 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 blah. Each Tuesday starting today. Okay, so yeah, they're skipping today. Okay, so they're skipping today. Monthly report tomorrow, weekly prelim estimate, weekly prelim estimate, weekly prelim estimate, monthly report, weekly prelim estimate. So ADP is going to be releasing their non-farm employment data tomorrow, 8:15 for the month. They're skipping the weekly report each time they do it. Okay. At least they're doing something. It gives me something to cover. I'm excited about it. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. All right, so we're still pretty 60-40 split on the poll here. 61% say yes, 39% say no. So it's not like it's super, it's not like it's super split or super one-sided, I should say. Yeah, everything's entrenched in AI. Only overvalued if growth comes to a stop, and it is looking like it's about to, unfortunately. Maybe. Again, remember, we do have the ADP non-farm employment data. Again, Michael Burry, guys, this is the big news today. Michael Burry is currently shorting AI. Nvidia shares fell 2% in pre-market after filing showed Burry Scion Management bought 187 million in Nvidia put options. He also disclosed 912 million in Palantir puts, both trades making up about 80% of its portfolio. We don't know if it's still active. Filings lag by about 45 days. And so he might be underwater still in this. Like, look, if he shorted it 45 days ago, let's count these. 45 days. Okay, so he's about $150 a share at the time. Now, it depends on when he shorted it, but 45 days would mark it about right down here, you know? So, even with the price of Palantir now, if he bought put options here, he's still down. I don't know for sure if it was 45 days ago, but again, it was about $160 a share. It's now at 190s. So on a percentage basis, he's down. Same thing with Nvidia, I think. Nvidia might be a little bit harder to pinpoint that, but Nvidia he's still probably down on Nvidia as well, to be honest. If this was 45 days old. Valuations haven't made sense for a minute now. A correction is definitely a healthy prospect. I think a small correction is fine. I think if we get like a 8% correction and then we stay down for a little while and, you know, consolidate and, you know, get some more momentum, I think that's fine. I think that's almost necessary at this point. Yeah, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I might not like buying things, but I'm not going to short the healthiest companies in the world. I don't think that ever makes sense. The edge is too small, even if you could do it correctly. Edge is too small. You know, long term, the longer I hold those short positions, the worse it usually gets. And I think this is a good example of it, you know. Again, Dixie is at a 3-month high of over $100 a share on the dollar index here. Here's the Dixie. Over $100. Yeah, the dollar's going up because of the Fed's hawkishness, I think, but they did a hawkish cut. Powell said a December cut was not a foregone conclusion. This was a hawkish signal. There's weakness in Europe. The euro is the largest component of the Dixie, over 50%. So economic data from euro continues to be weak. Japan, the Japanese yen is weak as well. It's rising not just because the US is strong, but because Europe and Japan look much weaker. And so that's kind of what's going on. Right, no, for sure. I'm not going to short it. I think that's wild, man. And I think, again, people think, oh, well, it has to correct. Like, let me tell you something. In stocks, what goes up doesn't have to come down. Right? Like, I think traders that short, they get into this mindset of something that goes up has to come back down. Like, I'll put it this way. What is Amazon's PE ratio right now? Amazon has a PE ratio of like 33 to 36. Right? Amazon a couple years ago had a PE ratio of like, it was like 60, 70, $80. I think it was like $100 actually. The PE ratio for Amazon. And at the time, people were shorting it. And I remember just saying, no, I'm never going to short Amazon like that. Why? Because Amazon has the best chance to catch up to those ratios, you know, to catch up to those valuations, to catch up to those earnings, catch up to that EPS is what it really is. And sure enough, if you look at Amazon PE ratio today, it's 33, right? So relatively decent, not great, but not terrible. It's within reason now. It caught up to those valuations. And so I'm not going to short some of the healthiest assets in the world because they have high PE ratios. I'm just not going to. But again, Burry might be smarter. He's definitely richer than I am. And maybe he's got more information. I don't know. Yeah, Bitcoin looking weak too. Look at this. 104s. Gold under 4,000. Under 4K. Nasdaq's down a lot on the day, but it's kind of sideways right now. Probably closed already. What do you talk about? The short? I mean, again, even if he, like, look, he probably got in sometime around September. If that's the case, I mean, it looks like he missed the big drop here. But honestly, Palantir's mostly gone up. Since November, it hasn't really, or since September, it hasn't really dropped much. This is the trend. Since September. You know, so it hasn't really gone down, like, to give him a slice of it. No, I mean, I get it. Listen, like I said, Michael Burry, certainly wealthier than I am. Certainly probably has more data than I do. So, I mean, let him do his thing. I'm not mad at him. I think he overpredicts crashes. But hey, let him live his life. If I was him, I might overpredict crashes too, just based off everything that went down in 2008 and 2009. I can't even get 2007, I should say. I shouldn't even get, too critical of him, because I understand why he's so bearish. He's probably nervously looking at charts with headphones. Yeah, with drumsticks. He's probably sitting there, He's got his drumsticks. He's banging on his computer. He's getting mad. He's hitting his computer, I don't know. Nasdaq and most markets are down this morning too. The pawn just sent me like something going on in Europe. Global equities faltered as investors digested underwhelming results from Palantir Tech. Again, Mag 7 mega caps lost momentum. Tesla, Nvidia led declines in pre-market, dragging Nasdaq down. So this is partly due to Tesla here. It says, yeah, Tesla down from 460s to 450s. The dollar extended its rally to its strongest level since May. Mixed commentary by the Fed and officials. Treasuries rebounded. 10-year slipped 2 basis points to 4.09%. Gold declined for a third session. Bitcoin hit its lowest level since June at 104,290s in futures. In Europe, stocks are slipping down as well. They say cautious tone from U.S. futures. Risk-off sentiment hitting commodities. Copper's down 2%. Brent crude 64 a barrel. CL futures at 61, 60s. Goolsbee highlighted yesterday the persistence of inflation pressures. Lisa Cook pointed to growing vulnerabilities in labor. Mary Daly reiterated that policymakers should keep an open mind on another rate cut. Moran emphasized that policy remains restrictive. He basically wants more dovish action. And yeah, it's an interesting market today as well, guys. Palantir, BDPS beat revenue, beat guidance down to 190 from 207. Nvidia, other microchips and tech are reacting negatively here. And earnings were pretty disappointing today as well in terms of reaction. Spotify mostly down or flat. Uber mostly down or flat from their earnings. Who's going to buy chips? Everybody's going to make their own. Yeah, I mean. And again, if today passes without a deal, it will effectively be the longest U.S. shutdown in history. Again, today's tying the record, just to clarify, guys. Today's tying the record. So today is day 35 of the government shutdown. We don't get a deal done. It makes it 36 tomorrow. That is the longest shutdown in history as of tomorrow. If we don't get a deal done, Still very unlikely the government shutdown is going to end today. And as much as I want the shutdown to end, I kind of want it to break the record too. You know, it gives me more to talk about. You know, what a title to tomorrow's stream. The longest shutdown in history, you know. But to be fair, to be honest, let me backtrack a little bit. I hope the government shutdown ends today. I will celebrate if the government shutdown ends today. I don't think it's going to, but you know, I'll still be happy if it does. Today, I think the big story is the elections mostly, though. Bro, okay, now at this point, AI is getting stuff wrong. AI is starting to bother me now. It's just getting everything wrong. The next big deadline is going to be November 5th, military payday. So that will effectively be, what did I just do? Bro, what did I just click on in Windows 11, dude? How dare you hide this button? I don't know what I've done here. Bro, there's a button that just makes everything go. Why, bro? Come on now. There we go. That's better. I don't know what just happened. I clicked some random button on the side of my screen. Everything disappears. Yeah, the last vote they did on the CR was October 28th, last week. No votes are scheduled in the Senate today. Stalemate still holding. Mike Johnson has not called House reps back to Washington. They remain in an extended district work period. And again, here's my thesis on it, on the government shutdown. They're going to end it before Thanksgiving. They have to. They're not going to let the chaos of this shutdown drag into Thanksgiving and the day after and affect holiday travel. They're just not going to. You know, I don't think they will. I hope they don't. You never know. It's politics. But I don't think they're going to. Yeah. I mean, they can certainly keep it. I hope they don't. Maybe it's confirmation bias on my end. It probably is. Nasdaq's flat right now. I don't think I've ever gone Black Friday shopping, ever. You know why I don't go Black Friday shopping? I'm going to tell you why. Listen, if you don't want to get your feelings hurt if you're a big Friday shopper, cover your ears. Stores strategically raise the prices of things in the weeks leading up to Black Friday, right? Why? So they can slash them back to really where they were before anyway, just to make people crazed enough to go shopping. I'm not subjecting myself to that. Y'all are crazy. You know? And people think they're getting deals when the reality is the prices were essentially where they were cut to 3 weeks prior to Black Friday anyway. And so there's not really deals. They're just pretending there's deals to try to get you in the doors. And y'all are falling for it hook, line, and sinker. It might be kind of fun to go out there though. But I think I'm not doing it this Black Friday. I got a bum knee right now, bro. You think I'm going to go out there and fight people for toys? Might be kind of fun, actually. I don't know. Somebody's going to kick me in my knee if I do that, you know? Get me out the way quick. You know? Yeah, somebody's gonna kick me on my knee and get Turbo Man before I do, you know. All right, guys. Nasdaq's coming back down a little bit. Gold under $4,000 an ounce. You're right, for sure. I'm gonna get Aoki locked in a Target parking lot or something, you know. Yeah, the sales are fake, 100%. Yeah, crypto's down big today. Look at the Nasdaq pop back up. Gold's retesting 4,000. Oil is down. Again, here's the SPY if you want to take a look at it. Down to 676 right now. Personally, and I might be wrong here, but I think we might actually run up one more time before we correct big. I think we're going to run up, tap 7K, and then come back down. Maybe. It's 7,000 in the S&P 500 is what I mean. I'm not saying it's today. Maybe it's in December sometime. I'm not really sure. Yeah, dollar index is breaking recent 3-month highs. It has to do with like euro weakness, overseas weakness. All right, so Bessent says it would be unusual for the Supreme Court to overrule tariffs. AWS announces Fastnet, which is a dedicated high-capacity transatlantic cable connecting the U.S. and Ireland via their website. Amazon not really reacting to it. Again, dollar hit 3-month highs. Jerome Powell said last week another December cut isn't guaranteed. Hawkish up, you know, getting baked in maybe. I still think, listen, I'm going to say this again. I still think we're going to cut rates 25 basis points in December. I might be wrong, but I think we're probably going to cut 25 in December. Yeah, the end of quantitative tightening starts what? December 1st? Doesn't mean they're going to start printing. Enjoy my pizza. Are you in the US? You must not be. I'm not against pizza for breakfast. But, I'm getting a little too old for that. As a 30-something-year-old, one of the things that the movie This Is 40 got exactly right is that you start to fear unhealthy food. Like, I get nervous if I eat a cupcake or like a piece of cake or like 5 pieces of pizza, you know. I get stressed out about it now. Gold right at 4,000. How is it that the government doesn't have money to feed American food stamps but have the money to send? Yeah, I mean, it depends on where the money comes from, I think. I'm 62 going on 63. I agree. Wait till you're my age. Yeah. I get it. Listen, I get it. I eat like a 12-year-old, though. Carol hates it. I eat burgers and fries and pizza. Speaking of 12-year-olds, what's up, dude? How you doing, bro? You know what I mean? Love you, buddy. What's wrong with you today, man? You alright? You okay? Alright, dude. Alright, love you, buddy. Yeah, I was in a gas station yesterday, and I almost bought one of those breakfast, like, what are they, taquitos or something like that? The little breakfast rolls. Those fried breakfast rolls with eggs and bacon in them. And I almost bought one. They look good. I was there. Carol was with me. I started to pick that thing up. Carol basically slapped it out of my hand and was like, no. Yeah. I might sneak back there and get one. Yeah, Nasdaq's flat, guys. I would be trading right now. Nasdaq's flat. Instead, I'm talking about gas station breakfast rolls. Gold right at 4,000. Here's 4,000 on gold right here. I agree with the rate cut. I think the Fed has to do it based on jobs. Yeah, I think so as well. All right, gold just hit 4,000 again here. 4K. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Louisiana. And I think all across the country, it's known that Louisiana has the best gas station food probably in the world, I would argue. Like, some of that Cajun food you get at gas stations, best food you'll ever eat. Yeah, I mean, gold back over 4,000 right now. It's slowly fighting its way back. I can't really trade this, guys. Like, I want to trade for you guys. But this is the range right now in the NQ. It went like this. It's going up and down, up and down. Unless I'm buying the bottom here and covering around the top of this range. That looks like a hamburger. Unless we're talking about food. But unless I'm buying the bottom and covering at the top, there's not really any strategies to get involved with. Gold, maybe. I think gold, when you zoom out on gold, it's flat as well, and it just popped back over 4,000. I still think gold might come back down here, but I'm not 100% sure, and I don't trust it enough to try it. Nasdaq's just been choppy this morning. It's not really doing anything. I think markets are kind of muted. We do have a payroll report tomorrow. Not a payroll, but we have a labor report tomorrow. It's not the big labor report that we get every once a month on Friday. It's the ADP data, which is private data. But it's going to be the monthly report. It's the only thing that we have close to a payroll report. And it's the first one we're getting in a month plus. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So again, stick around tomorrow, and we'll see what that report shows. I love boudin, you know. I ate some last week. My friend came and stayed with us for a few days and brought like a big box of boudin. It was probably like 20 pieces of it. He bought red beans and rice. If we can break under, I mean, we're under 750s now. Maybe 750 might be a level here. Look. There's 750s. We're underneath it. It kind of looks heavy here. If we start to break down, I might short. But I have to kind of wait for it. And again, markets are down. Again, Palantir. BDPS beat revenue, raised guidance, down almost 10%. We also had Uber earnings this morning. Uber's down. We had Yum Brands. Yum is up a little bit. We had Spotify. It's up a little bit now. It kind of rebounded back up some. So Spotify almost to 680s right now. Did I go to the hairdresser? No. I gotta go somewhere after this, so. And it's kind of cold in my house, so I can wear these kind of long sleeve shirts now. You know? Yeah, tomorrow we got the ADP report, 8:15 Eastern time. Gold back up to 4,005. Gold's flat on the day as well, though. I think markets are kind of waiting to see what happens at the opening bell. Yeah, Bitcoin down. 104,000 for Bitcoin. Not looking the healthiest. Look, I will try to short this in a different account that I traded this morning. If it gives me a second. Hold on. I will try to short this here. I don't know what account I just jumped in. Okay. Yeah, this one. I'm hoping 750 rejects. If not, I'm going to cut it pretty small. Yep, we're out of there. Getting stuck in the shop, but it's very small. Spotify execs say the company saw steady retention rates following the rollover of recent price increases across more than 150 markets. I don't see big support for Bitcoin until around 86,000. I think 100,000 is probably just like in terms of, like if we look at Bitcoin, right? I think if we zoom out here, I think 100,000 is obviously, I love you. Okay. I think 100,000 is obviously a level here. And I think if you look at like historical support and resistance, like if I put this chart, make this chart a little bit larger here in stocks, right? Here's Bitcoin on the bottom left. This chart right here is Bitcoin. 100,000 is right here. We extend this to the left, and if we make this larger, you don't think 100,000 is a big support level? Look at how many times we bounced off of 100,000. Here, here, here. We've rejected over here, here. And so I think 100K is a big level. I mean, 86,000, 90,000 looks to be a level 2 right here. But I would say 100,000 is the big level people are watching. I think liquidations might happen above and below it, depending on if they're long or short. But I think 100,000 is kind of the line in the sand for it, essentially, for Bitcoin. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I would assume a big milestone level like that people pay attention to. But like I said, I might be wrong. I'm not sure. Where's the next big support level for Bitcoin, guys? Let me know. Next big support level for Bitcoin. There's definitely supported 100,000. 98K is next. Yeah, it's a psychological level. It's a milestone area. I should have stayed in the short. It would have worked. But that's all right. Again, Palantir grew 52% from a year ago in terms of government sales. BDPS beat revenue and raised guidance. Still down to 190s. Again, Treasury Secretary Bassett says government spending has been down for the last couple of quarters and will continue to keep it down. No Jolts tomorrow as well, unfortunately. Still looking at news though, but $90K for Bitcoin. I think 100,000 on Bitcoin is psychological and not true support. I don't think it will hold. Maybe. All right, looking at our polls, is the microchip and tech sector overvalued? 64%. It's kind of grown a little bit. Now 64% think it is overvalued. Will there be employment data on Friday? Not unless the government resumes And it would need to resume either today or tomorrow for them to compile that data for Friday, I think. I'm hoping it does. But I don't know, man. This shutdown's lasting longer than a lot of people thought it would. We still got over 800 people here, which is great, you know. I remember when I struggled to hit freaking 300, you know. So cheers to you guys. I appreciate you guys joining me today. Treasury Secretary Bessent on the tariffs says lots of other authorities can be used depending on Supreme Court decision. He's on CNBC right now. So Bessent's on CNBC speaking. Hey, thank you. What's up, Sparta? Tom Lee thinks Bitcoin will go to 200,000 by the end of the year. Bitcoin drops to 68 to 72. It would cause chaos and fear. And probably some selling. But I mean, you have to understand the last Bitcoin bear market, I think, as well, to understand all this stuff. Like, I remember Bitcoin getting up to 64,000, going all the way back down to $10,000, and then making its second bull run here. And so I think you got to understand the context of how Bitcoin has historically moved. And so even if it dipped down to 60, whatever, you know, I mean, 70,000 is probably some support. 65 to 70K is probably going to be some strong support as well. And so I think there'd be a lot of holders still in it. But yeah. Personally, I hope it holds at 100. And I think I don't know if it will, but it could. On the 6th of November, the government will open and the crypto market will get 117,000 in 2 days. I hope you're right. I really do. I hope you're right. I'm going to put it out there. Bessent needs more Botox. Yeah, he's looking at yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna really comment on it, but yeah. He's looking a little puffy. Him and Vance, honestly. They're looking a little puffy to me. Alright, guys, Palantir down to 190s. Crypto talks are whack. As long as it's not wiggity whack, I'm okay with it. Alright, gold over 4,000. Yeah, I used to wake my daughter up with that song. You know, I used to walk in, put that song on, start dancing around. She hated it. She secretly loved it, you know. I know it, but yeah. All right, gold pulling back to 4K. Yeah, NFTs are done for. I don't think NFTs are coming back at all. I couldn't help but comment on it, Otto, you know. Everybody knows what I said is true. I'm not saying I'm against them or for them. But they got some politicians on both sides, to be fair, that are looking a little puffy. Let's just be honest here for a second. They're looking a little puffy, okay? Maybe they have allergies. You know? But outside of that, I'm not going to go into any other politics stuff. NASDAQ rejecting here at 750s. All right, guys, gold down to 4,000. Everything's too sideways. I mean, we got a slight downward trend in the NASDAQ here. There's a little downward trend on a 1 minute chart, but it's not. I should have shorted. I was shorting here, remember. Would have been the top 3 greatest shorts ever if I would have held that. Yeah, the problem with NFTs, though, yeah, the crypto bros definitely destroyed the NFT market. NFTs might have been useful for owning music. You know? But I think private companies are already building stuff like that anyway. But like, the reason, like, what they misunderstood is that people value like manually drawn physical art that's like 100 years old, or, you know, done by somebody super famous, much more than they value digital art that AI creates. You know what I mean? Like that. Nope. It was hard to find like intrinsic value in that, I think. And trust me, I was one of those guys sitting there being like, yeah, you know, you can own NFTs and it'll, you know. But in hindsight, it was probably a pretty big bubble. Turned into kind of speculation mania. Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see NFTs anywhere close to the level they were again. Maybe we do though, I don't know. I want a program shift from software to hardware. Why does it take so long? Well, the world's becoming more and more software related, not hardware. I mean, we're going to see hardware and AI robots and stuff like that, but they're going to have software implanted into them. So, AI is mostly software. I mean, you're going to have AI hardware devices, but... yeah, gold's going back and forth over and under 4,000. Yeah, AI software. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said, Axel, was that AI is software, of course. Hardware is like physical, like a computer is hardware. Hard drive is hardware, you know. This monitor I'm using is hardware. AI is software, which means it's on the computer, you know. I know what software is, bro. It hurts me when you joke like that, Axel. Come on now. Do better, bro. Do better. Digital real estate, I don't know, man. We'd have to have first like a metaverse that was popular enough to sell it. And I think the problem with a lot of places is that they started selling virtual real estate in metaverses that were not nearly as popular as they needed to be to justify the cost of that real estate, right? And then you had a bunch of mostly older people that didn't really understand, and they were just like, oh, we're buying land. And so they just started buying stuff, but they were oblivious to what you needed to make that land valuable in the future. And I think that's what caused that bubble to happen. No offense to the older people here. I listen, some young people I'm sure bought it too, but none of the metaverses were nearly as popular as they needed to be. And maybe people were making bets on future popularity, but I think that when you get into nuances like that, I think it becomes a lot more difficult to bet safely on that type of stuff, if that makes sense. All right, so the president reiterates for Republicans to terminate the filibuster to get everyone approved. So again, Treasury Bassett on China trade says relationship is in a good place. Both presidents may see each other at the G20 meeting. Bassett on Blackwell Nvidia chips on China trade says there may be a case down the road given technology changes where they could be sold. Bitcoin's still dropping. NASDAQ still falling. Put that money back in the stock market. You got that genuine trust factor thing? What is that? Explain that to me. I did 10x on my virtual farm. Hey, nice, Pew. I think you're in the minority, though, there, brother. I know a bunch of people that put 10, 20, 30 grand, 50 grand, more than that. I know some people that put more than that into digital real estate and lost essentially everything. So. All right, so the president is currently tweeting right now, just to put this into perspective. President is tweeting. Let's read it. He said the Dems are far more likely to win midterms in the next presidential election if we don't do the termination of the filibuster, which would be called the nuclear option. It would be, just to pause this quote for a second, the nuclear option would be if they change the rules to a simple majority and then ended the shutdown, right? The reason they haven't done that yet in a lot of people's minds, even on the right, people on the right don't necessarily want them to do this either, because what this would do is it would set a precedent for when the other side gets power, they're going to do the same thing, right? And so that's the fear, is that it's going to set the precedent now, and then the other side's going to do the same thing. It would be the first time in history somebody would do it if they did it now, for this specific reason, that is. So anyways, going back to the quote, because it would be impossible for them to get policies done with the left being able to block everything by withholding their vote. For 3 years, nothing will be passed, and they will be blamed. Elections, including midterms, will be rightfully brutal. If we do terminate the filibuster, we will get everything approved like no Congress in history. We will have fair, free, and safe elections. A bunch of other stuff. If we don't do it, they're more likely to do well in the upcoming elections, which would mean a packed Supreme Court, 2 more states, 4 more Dem senators, which would be DC and Puerto Rico, and 8 more electoral votes. Remember, the right, they are going to end the filibuster as soon as they get the chance. We know this because they already tried, and the only 2 people who didn't go along are now out of office, but they have much less chance of winning if we have great policy wins and wins and wins. In fact, they will lose big and for a long time. Terminate the filibuster now, end the shutdown immediately, and then most importantly, pass every wonderful policy that we have dreamt of. We will be the party that cannot be beaten, the smart party. End quote, U.S. President. Did he say something else? Okay, yeah. That is the new quote from the president. In general, I mean, you were just a good guy. I try over here, man. I try to do what's right. Again, I genuinely believe, outside of the stream, that if you try to do good, you get good stuff back, you know? Maybe it's karma. Maybe it's religious. Maybe it's we live in a simulation. I don't know. I think too many people go around just being mean to other people and terrible to other people, and then when their life sucks, they say, why is this happening to me? It's because, well, you're bad to people. You're mean to people. Top 3 nicest guy to people right now on the stream chat. Now don't insult me or you get banned for life. All right. Bitcoin is bouncing a little bit. NASDAQ has had how many red candles up at these last 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles followed by 2 green ones, but we're still down. Gold under 4,000 right now. Will there be a Christmas rally, guys? Let me know. Called the law of attraction. I'll tell you what, if the law of attraction is real, we are in a simulation. That's the only context in which the law of attraction or horoscopes make any sense whatsoever. You know, like your personality is dictated by the month you're born. Tell me that doesn't sound like a freaking simulation. Either way, I'm not even saying I believe any of that stuff. Realistically, I think a lot of it is just confirmation bias. You know? No, there's no Jolts report. The government shut down. Jolts is produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the same people that put out CPI. And so we're not getting Jolts tomorrow. Not unless the government resumes and somehow they get it out on time, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Tax harvesting versus Santa rally. Sometimes we dump on, I mean, I remember trading a couple times on Christmas Eve and like in the holiday week, and the market did not react well. Last year, I think it was, right? Didn't the market go down last holiday? Look at the NASDAQ fall here. Do a poll on if we rally or not rally if tariffs are canceled. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. Yeah, Nasdaq's down a lot. I get it. I hate to be a hindsight trader, but I shorted right here, and that's it. That is where we rejected, right at 750. That is where we rejected, unfortunately. Got out mostly flat, but it would have been the greatest short of all time, I think. Let me ask the question. What's the date you think the government shutdown will end? Put the date out in chat. Definitely Jello hands. I would say the top 3 most Jello ever. If we rally... The 23rd? When's Thanksgiving? Is it the 26th? 27th. I think we'll end before the 27th. I know Polymarket. If we look at like Polymarket or Kalshi, I don't know if I can really trust these odds though. Wait, Polymarket changed it. So 59%. Wait. All right, hey, somebody needs to explain these odds. I usually look at Kalshi. Somebody explain this to me real quick, okay? If you add all of these ups, like, this would be like 300%. Over 300%. What's going on here? Shouldn't all these equal 100%? How is it ending before November 15th, 59%? Oh, okay, never mind. I understand it now. I'm looking at it. Now that I pay more attention, it's progressively getting higher because... Okay, I understand. Never mind. I'm dumb. Okay, never mind. I retract my previous statement. I understand it now. It's progressively going higher because, you know... Technically, all the ones behind it would be true if it did end before the 31st. You know, that's why it's going higher. I'm dumb. Or it will take months to rule. December 23rd, it better finish before December 23rd. Gold back under 4,000. I had to do it, Brad. I had to do it, man. Palantir still coming down. Palantir now under 190s. Lows of the last day are 189.30s here for Palantir. Bitcoin up to 104s. Can Supreme Court tomorrow terminate most of all the tariffs? I think they're going to take a little bit more time. Bitcoin at 103s right now. Here's Bitcoin. Who was braggadocious in the earnings call? Which bro? I'm assuming you mean Palantir CEO, what's his name? People get mad at like CEOs during earnings calls. Like, listen, if you're the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company that's in the top 7, wouldn't you like reference all the good arguing points for your company? That's what earnings calls are. They're saying, look what we have done. You know, I think it's very hard to find an earnings call where they're pretty bleak in it and they're sad. I don't think that happens very much. I think most of the time they're going to brag away. I don't think we should really knock Alex for that, you know. Nasdaq's still falling down. Bitcoin's actually rising a little bit right now. Again, here's Palantir. Speaking of Palantir, 189.50s. Palantir just broke the lows of pre-market, I think. I had to do it, Danny. If you say that word, that number, those couple numbers that everybody says, 10-second timeout. Adam Aaron eating popcorn. Here's the problem with AMC in that moment. You're telling me AMC's idea to save the company in the movie theater industry was to sell popcorn in stores. That's their idea? Is to sell store popcorn. Even if the margins are good, how many people are going to go buy AMC popcorn? You know? All right, gold under 4K. It's at 39.86 right now. 39.86. That'll save the company. Oh. And the AMC traders, they were into it too. They were like, yep, this is it. This is our moment. You know, we're going to do this. Company saved as of now, you know. Where is AMC? Honestly, I haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, I mean, AMC mostly just barcodes, or barcode. It mostly chops. I'm not even going to try to say it. No, we don't have any economic reports today. We would have had Jolts, but the government's shut down still. Nasdaq getting a little green candle here. Gold moving back up a little bit as well. Let me make sure they're not tweeting or something. All right, so the Uber CEO says robotaxis are not expected to be profitable for a few years. Bessent said U.S. and China's trade relationship is in a good place. Zelensky says the president supports their Ukraine's bid for EU membership, European Union membership. Again, the president did say that the left was going to win midterms if they don't end the filibuster. Again, president pushing to end the filibuster with what's called the nuclear option. Market opens up at 9:30 market time. If you're overseas or you're not in the United States, we had daylight savings time, which means that we gained an hour of sleep Saturday night, Sunday morning. And so it is now 8:40 market time. It is now 8:40 market time. Time changed. It is now 8:40. We still got 50 minutes until the opening bell. Again, if you want to check out Top Step, beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Very similar to day trading stocks in terms of patterns. No PDT rule. Get you around the PDT rule. Top Step has some of the most reliable payouts in the game. It makes no sense to fund your own account thousands of dollars trying to day trade. Most day traders are going to lose money. Doesn't matter what course you take, who your mentor is, you're probably going to lose for a while. Why risk your own thousands and thousands of dollars per account? It just makes no sense. $50 for the base one on Top Step. You pass it, you get a $50K funded account, 90% split. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course, because they pay me money. I don't even claim to be a good trader, but it's genuinely useful for traders. There's no PDT rule. Again, they have some of the most reliable payouts in the game. You can track your payouts. But again, understand this on screen. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Here's the link. Check it out. I'll pin it to the top of the chat. Great way to learn. Great way to learn. You're risking something, so you're learning how to trade with risk. But it's not thousands of dollars risk per account like a normal trader has to go through most of the time. Hey, thank you, Green. But I love losing all my money in the market. Well, SX creeping back up a little bit. We're under 26,000. Palantir could drop to 160s and 150s. Again, Burry put out this. We found out that Burry is shorting. Let me see exactly the size of Burry's shorts. Again, Polymarket has it 62% likely that we're going to end the shutdown before November 15th. I hope they're right. That would be before next Saturday. There's also a poll that says, will the next BLS job report during the government shutdown? At this point, there's only a 9% chance. It's supposed to come out this Friday. So it is Tuesday. It's supposed to come out on Friday. Wait. Yeah, it's supposed to come out on Friday. I don't think it's going to. I think the odds of that are very low. I think we would have heard something about it already. Just like when CPI showed up, we would have heard about it. Yeah, Carp is speaking on CNBC. Palantir growth doesn't justify their crazy valuation. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the poll we did this morning, 64% say yes, microchip tech is overvalued. 36% say no. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin at 105,565. All right, we're up to 25,717, 718. Is this worth a short? I'll try. Run it into this, maybe. There we go. I'll cut half just to protect it. And maybe add back if we continue to get a big rejection down here. I'm gonna cut it right there. All right, we got it in short right here. That worked. That's a big drop too. If we get a bounce, I might short back into it. All right, we're testing. We're pretty big drop here. I don't see any news that might drop it alone. We had Shopify come out a couple minutes ago that says executives says in Q3 alone, over 750,000 stores on Shopify used AI assistant Sidekick for the first time. Yeah, they're using AI in a lot of stuff now. Honestly, we talked to a customer service. I think it might have been a utility company. I can't remember who it was. They didn't tell us it was AI. And we started talking to it. And the only reason we knew it was AI is because there would be like a 5 to 6 second pause before they said anything. So we talked to them, and instead of getting an immediate response back, it would wait 5 or 6 seconds, and then it would respond every single time. Right? And so because of that, we knew it was processing, and we knew it was like an AI assistant. But they're getting better, the AI assistant aspect of it. But we could still tell it was AI. So ADM CEO says strong corn and soy meal exports lift total export volumes in September to 2016 peaks. So what happened to Beyond Meat? It just failed like everybody knew it would. I'm not going to say I told you guys so, but definitely told you guys so. Beyond Meat failed. What about Open Door? Open Door is still on a pullback. What about Quantum right now? Quantum still pulling back a little bit more here with everything. Here's the Rigetti. Dropped a lot yesterday. Down to 37s. QBTS, same thing. Gold still falling under 4,000. I'm not trying to celebrate the market going down, but I think it kind of needs to go down a little bit. I think 26,000 is way too high on the NASDAQ short term. And again, it doesn't mean we're not going to rip up past it and make big moves, but I ate some Impossible Tacos at Disney World. They were good. I'd eat them again, to be honest. I mean, if I had to pick brisket or Impossible Tacos, I'm picking brisket, you know, but they weren't bad. I'd eat them. Yeah, QBTS earnings this week. AMD earnings today. We got into a small short, but we're just kind of sitting on our hands here. I'm looking at my algorithm on like a 3-minute chart. It's okay. Here, that one worked. That one worked. This one didn't work. That one worked. 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 This one didn't. This one did though. That one definitely worked. That one worked. Honestly, a 3-minute chart might be the chart for my algorithm here. These two didn't. That one did. You gotta take context of time frame into it too. Like this pre-market is probably gonna work a little bit worse. That one worked. No. That one definitely did. That one probably didn't. That one did. That one did. That one did. Those two did. That one did. That one did. That one did. That one didn't. That one didn't. That one probably didn't. That one did. 3-minute chart might be the chart. Yeah, ADP job data coming out tomorrow, 8/15 for the month. It's the only labor report we're getting this month, and so I think because of that, it's much larger. So again, 8:15 tomorrow morning, chat. 8:15 tomorrow morning. I think it's gonna move markets too, because it's the only labor report we're getting. We're not getting the Friday report unless the government resumes, which I don't think it's going to. So, again, I just don't think it's going to resume. I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope. Somebody said Thursday. I hope that's true. Would it be Friday? Yeah, it'd be Friday. Alright. That's that climbing higher. I might short if we get to 740s or 750s again. I don't know, though. Oh, I'll have to wait for it. Still a little bit early. I need 743 at least. Is what I'm looking at. 743s. Maybe a little bit earlier at 740s, but I gotta wait for it. Gold's still downtrending. SPY starting to creep back up with everything too. Bitcoin's still down. Palantir, again, one of the things. BDPS revenue, good guidance. Still down to 191s. Again, if we take a look at yields again, yields are currently, let me refresh this, 4.093%. If we take a look, they should be down a little bit today, but mostly flat since yesterday. Yesterday they were around 4.1. Yeah, they're down a little bit. If we take a look at the odds, 72% the last time I looked at it. It's currently 71%. So the odds of a rate cut have gone down about 1% since the last time I looked at it early this morning. Gold's still falling. Again, you guys think we'll get good or bad jobs data tomorrow? 8:15 market time. Good or bad jobs data tomorrow? Horrible? I mean, if we get horrible jobs data, the market odds for Redbook showed up at 5.7%, 5.2% previously. I mean, the odds of a rate cut will spike if we get bad jobs data tomorrow. I think they're going to go up substantially if we get bad data. According to AI, the odds of the shutdown ending this week are less than 10%. They said the primary pressure point for Snap, since the judge ruled they had to pay some of it, cancels out the pressure point of government shutdown resuming, and so because of that, it's less likely. So it removed all the immediate pressure from Congress. Senate has no votes scheduled. November 15th is the next big date, which would be again next Wednesday or next Saturday. It's the military payday. Yeah, bad seems most likely, but sometimes it's the opposite. Again, I think they're going to get something done before Thanksgiving, though. Labor market for younger. Gonna nosedive. Random billionaire gonna pay them. I don't know if any earnings this morning necessarily look good. The only one that I saw that actually did well was YUM. Yum Brands. They're up a little bit. We had Uber, which is down pretty significantly, down to $92 a share. We had what else do we have? We had Spotify, which is kind of flat from their earnings. Reacted somewhat positively, but it's back down a decent percentage here. Palantir also trading back down. Gold under 4,000. We got Bitcoin around 103 and 104K. NASDAQ falling back down some here. Again, government shutdown is now on day 35, which ties it for the longest shutdown in history. If it goes past today, which it probably will, so apparently they're supposed to vote on this on the 14th procedural vote on the House pass clean resolution or continuing resolution for today. No, we don't have the Jolts today. The Jolts report is a government report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's not coming out today. I wanted to short 740s, guys. 740s is what I wanted here. This is 740 right here. You don't love to see it. You don't love to see it. I slightly missed my entry, but that's okay. I probably should have waited anyway, but it's all good. Spotify exclusive announced that the company observed minimal churn despite price hikes. Yeah, I saw Michael Burry, but that was as of what? Is it 45 days ago? So there's a 45-day lag, Bunny, between when we hear about the put option, the put options that Burry bought on Nvidia and Palantir. There's a 45-day lag. And just to put this into perspective, 45 days ago, Palantir was at about $160 a share. It's now at 190s, even with the pullback. Nvidia was at what? Like, I think Nvidia was at like 160. I might be wrong though. One of these was at 160. Nvidia was at like 170s. It's at 200 plus right now. Palantir, when Burry could have bought these, was at 175, 180. Still down. Both of these positions, if he took shorts 45 days ago and put options, he should be down on both of them. Look at the NASDAQ drop here. Could be 8 a.m. scrum, 9 a.m. scrum. And so if he bought put options 45 days ago on Palantir and Nvidia, he's down. Most likely. Caterpillar says expect relatively steady annual growth rates. All right, guys, less than 30 minutes until the market opens. Less than 30. Nasdaq still looking weak here. I should have shorted right here. It got up to 35, so we wanted 40s. Didn't quite catch it. It's okay. Bitcoin still dropping. Again, gold down to 39.80s here for gold. 39.80s. Ferrari spokesperson says the company has to cut price increases on some U.S. models to a maximum of 5 from 10% following new deal on tariffs on European auto imports. I always like Lamborghini just a little bit more than Ferrari. Like, Lamborghinis look cooler. Again, Standard Chartered is going to launch a full Bitcoin custody service in January next year. Look at this drop showing up. Is there a reason the market's tumbling right now? I don't think so. Let me see. Nvidia, Palantir, pulling back down. Nvidia, I think $200 is big. It's a big psych level. $200 is right here for Nvidia. I think that's probably a level you should watch. Nasdaq testing the lows of the last few hours here. Gold falling back down as well. If you put gold up, gold at 39.78 here. Mostly bearish action leading into the opening bell today. Yeah, filing for the quarter for Michael Burry Scion Capital ending September 30th shows a significantly larger short position valued at about 186.6 billion or 186 million. Put options. But the city family office boss Hans Hoffman is going to leave, according to Financial News. Kroger and Instacart announcing expanded relationship investing in AI to simplify customer experience and improve efficiency. I think this is Kroger, right? Or is Kroger KR? Kroger's KR. They're going up a little bit on this news. Gold's still falling. Markets are looking weak today, though. And I think this pullback's kind of necessary. U.S. Steel says growth plan is potential to unlock about $2.5 billion in incremental run rate EBITDA, about $500 million from operating efficiencies. Amazon says after early access, Alexa Plus will be free for Prime members, are available to non-Prime members for $19.99 a month. Speaking of Amazon, Amazon's down on the day too, down to 240s. Gold, look at gold right here, right below me. Gold's dumping down. It's at 39.70s. Michael Burry just put out something that said, fake news, I am not 5'6". Not that there's anything wrong with being 5'6". And journalists reporting on 13Fs, none more fake. End quote, Michael Burry. Is Burry not being 5'6" a bull or bear signal, guys? I'm just going to put this out there. I'm not 5'6" either. He does. Yeah. All right, gold at 39.81s here. I knew somebody was going to say it. 10-second timeout, big. 10-second timeout. I'm just joking with these timeouts. It's 10 seconds, guys. You know. All right, guys. I was hurtful. I was put in jail for 10 seconds. You deserved it, man. Listen. I promise you, I've got an 11-year-old. I hear enough 6-7 on a regular basis. It'll pass. Just like Skibbity, Toilet, Riz. Passed. Now there's no such thing as Riz, apparently. It's all Aura. You know, I think it is at least. I don't know. But 6-7 will pass too. And then if you say it, you're gonna be uncool. All right, guys, we're gonna day trade live at the opening bell. 20 minutes. All right, now y'all are just trying to get banned for 10 seconds. I'm too old to ever say Riz seriously, non-ironically. You know, I can't get away with it, I think. Daylight savings time. Daylight savings time pushed back the time, so now the market opens up in 20 minutes now. Meta on India's appeals tribunal decision says that WhatsApp 2021 privacy policy update did not change privacy of people's personal messages. Yeah, y'all get off my lawn, okay? When I was young, I used to walk 5 miles to school. You know? I had to ride 8 miles to school in the snow on a Duffy. Was it Duffy or Huffy bike with a bent front tire? Alright. I'm still holding long negative 750 on ADA Cardano. Yeah, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, guys. You know how bad it snows down there, you know. If Baton Rouge is known for anything, it's snow. You know. Blizzards get serious down there. Amazon, 258s. Gold still slow. That's right, Brad. You know. You know. Yeah, the mountains. Right. There's country songs made about Louisiana mountains. Oh, almost spilled my coffee. Alright, we got a double bottom here at 685 maybe. So we're watching this level now, 685s. Where could we reject up here? I think we could reject here. Maybe 25s. Look at this push up on the NASDAQ though. Gold's pushing up too. Yeah, I'm just waiting here, guys. We're still sideways. We're bouncing up a little bit, but I don't trust it enough to go long. Chop makes me, and the extension makes me not really want to go short either. I'm just going to wait, most likely. We got about 17 minutes left into the bell. And remember, Michael Burry put out something the other day about 5 days ago, and he said, quote, 6 days ago, he said, quote, sometimes we see bubbles, sometimes there is something to do about it, and sometimes the only winning move is not to play. Michael Burry telling people not to play the bubbles while simultaneously probably holding a position in Palantir and Nvidia short worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Am I wrong? Did he put that tweet out while he was shorting Palantir and Nvidia? Maybe that's when he covered the position for a loss. I don't know. Trying to read Burry's mind here. What do you guys think? Best rappers? I'm old. I'm gonna go with like... Lil Wayne. Kid Cudi, maybe. Old Kid Cudi, like the Man on the Moon Kid Cudi. And then maybe like... I don't know who the... again, Lil Wayne's definitely at the top. I like J. Cole as well a little bit, but he's a little bit newer. You know? Yeah, Man on the Moon, great album. Great album. Just a good album. All right, we're at 725s right now, 725s. $15 minutes. There's 725s. I swear, if this follows my level here, I talked about maybe shorting it at 725 or looking for a rejection. If it rejects here and holds, I'm not going to do anything, but I'll be frustrated. Recent action, maybe he took profit already. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't think he took profit. Again, just to put this into perspective, if Burry shorted 45 days ago Palantir and Nvidia, they're both significantly higher today than they were 45 days ago. And there's a 45-day lag between filings for stuff like that. Again, I can't confirm any of this is true, but there's a 45-day lag. And so if he shorted 45 days ago, he's probably down in those positions, or if he's already covered those positions losses. Not 100% sure. Again, maybe I'm speculating here. Maybe that's the reason he put out the tweet saying, again, sometimes we see bubbles. Sometimes there's something to do about it. Sometimes the only winning move is to not play. I think it's plausible that's when he covered the position in losses on Palantir and Nvidia. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody ask him, are you still shorting those things? Are you still holding? Because there's a 45-day lag between it. Yeah, which comment, Swain? Depends on what the comment is. Cardano got caught. Yeah, I mean, Cardano, it's just lost some hype, man. Lost some attention. All right, guys, I'm still sitting here waiting. Gold climbing back closer to 4,000, but still underneath it. It's at 39s. All right, guys, 13 minutes. 13 minutes. Backstreet Boys? I mean, nah. I grew up in the 90s, but no. Yeah, I like Biggie and Wayne. Snoop's okay. I like Dr. Dre, you know. Wu-Tang for sure. Yeah, they're great. All right, so again, the Senate will take its 14th vote, its 14th vote on the House passed CR to fund the government through November 21st today. The problem is that November 21st is like 2.5 weeks away. So this would only reopen the government for 2.5 weeks. Now, hopefully they do this. I think they kind of need to do it. Specifically for air, like, I've heard the lines for TSA are wild right now. I'm definitely not flying anywhere until they resume the government, but I don't think they want to let it drag on into the November holiday, because then it's really going to cause problems. All right, guys, we're up to almost 750s here. NASDAQ bouncing back. Again, Nvidia's climbing higher. AMD's still pretty weak on the day. It's at 250s. Meta reaffirms that 21 private policy on WhatsApp did not alter users' personal message privacy after an appeal. NASDAQ starting to climb higher here. Again, Senate's going to take its 14th vote on the CR to fund the government through November 21st today. Here's my issue, though. Okay? If it's only going to last until November 21st, why not just approve it now? And then do your, you know, and then boycott it later if you really want to, once it expires again on the 21st. You know? Again, I'm doing this for selfish reasons. I want the economic data to come back anyway. I'm sure Jolts is still being released today, although I could be wrong. What makes you think Jolts is coming out today? Jolts is released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Wouldn't the BLS put out something that said... I'm pretty sure Jolts is not coming out today. Jolts is done by the BLS. Look at my levels here, though, guys. I'm just going to say this. Look at that level right there. I'm pretty sure it's not. Again, BLS is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's a government entity, same entity that puts out a lot of other reports like CPI and stuff. I don't think it's coming out today. Do I like Shopify here? If it was down more, maybe. But it's just not down enough. Shopify's up too much for me to want to buy it for a swing trade. What is my... I need a new mouse. I need a mouse pad. Again, look at this move on Shopify. Shopify's up a lot. Just on a percentage basis on the year, it's up like 80% right now. It was at $100. It's now at $180. So it's up like 80% on the year already for Shopify. Even with this pullback after earnings, you know, it's still not big enough of a dip. Like it's right here, basically right now, right? Yeah, 165s. So it's right here. It's just not big enough of a pullback. It might bounce right here, but it's just not cheap enough for me to really be super interested in buying it, if that makes sense. Look at this bounce right here, 725s. Oh, I trust my own lines. I just don't think it's good enough. I don't think I should get into anything at 8 minutes before the bell. I think I should probably just wait until the chaos of the opening bell settles down a little bit before I should try to trade this type of stuff. I mean, they're definitely the greatest top 3 lines ever, but not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Understand all this stuff. Can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. McDonald's Canadian double bacon cheeseburger. You mean you ate it in Canada, or there's like some special burger on the menu that's Canadian? I don't know. I haven't been to a McDonald's in years. I really haven't. Look at 725 hold here, though. Don't pivot the conversation to food again, though. That lasted longer than I expected it to. All right, let's watch 750, see if it rejects. Palantir climbing back up. It's at 191s. 191s. Yep. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released scheduled page shows September 25, November 4th, 10 a.m. for Jolts, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yeah, I asked AI this a second ago, and it says you were right for confirmations. It's scheduled for today, but it's almost certain that it will be delayed. Bureau of Labor Statistics that publishes Jolts has report. It does list the release for today, November 4th, 10 a.m. Fact box from Reuters states that Jolts report is subject to resolution of shutdown. NPR noted that the BLS has suspended data collection and all active data collection activities will cease, confirming that the reports are postponed until the government reopens. iHire, a labor market analytics firm, confirmed that the BLS did not release the September jobs report and that the August Jolts report, released September 30th, was the last official update before the shutdown. So it might be scheduled, but it's probably not coming out. And I think the payroll report was scheduled too for this Friday. Let me see. If the payroll report's scheduled for this Friday, neither of them are probably coming out. Let me make sure. We had CPI. I'm pretty sure it's not. Pretty sure the last one didn't come out during October when the government was shut down either. If the last one didn't come out, I don't think this one's coming out either. So again, let's take a look at the Jolts. All right, so the last Jolts report we got was 9:30. Yeah, so state job openings, labor turnover for August are scheduled to be released October 22nd. So that means that they haven't updated the schedule since the shutdown. Pretty sure Jolts is not coming out. Yeah, so Jolts delayed for the second month in a row is what I'm reading. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes. I mean, the Jolts report would come out in 32 minutes if it was coming out today. It comes out at 10 a.m. It's 9:28 a.m. Look at my levels here, bro. I'm just going to say. Again, I'm asking a different source about Jolts. But I'm pretty sure it's not coming out today, guys. If it does, I'll be surprised. Because they didn't announce it's coming out today. And it didn't come out for October. Let me see. Yeah, so the Jolts report. It was September 2025. Oh my gosh, dude. Chat GPT on is just wild. Alright, guys, here's the opening bell. I'm pretty sure it's not coming out today. We would have gotten some update. The latest numbers were for August. Let me see. Okay, the last one actually showed up September 30th. So we wouldn't know. Look at gold, guys. Wow. Look at gold. Here's the opening bell. All right, and there's the opening bell. Gold dipped really quickly ahead of the opening bell. NASDAQ falling down here as we speak after the opening bell. Again, still getting some drops in the NASDAQ. Gold dumped pretty fast too. Palantir and Nvidia are falling at the opening bell, down to 202s for Nvidia, 190s for Palantir. Yeah, we'll see if these hold. We got AMD earnings this afternoon. It's definitely some red action showing up here. So we'll see if this holds, but definitely some red. Now retracing all the way back up at the open here. Gold's weak though. Bitcoin rebounding a little bit as well. I look to make sure there's no other big news showing up. I don't think there is, but sideways still at the opening bell. We're just waiting. NASDAQ back green here. Palantir starting to rise a little bit as well here. Look at Palantir. But again, we're so sideways. I don't really want to trade for the first few minutes here. I gotta wait. Do we think we pump when the government reopens? I don't know, man. I think either way it could go. Gold is one of the bigger, weaker things going on today. Sideways. Look at gold fall at the opening bell. They're right below me here. This is gold right here, right below me. Look at it fall. Palantir's actually a little rebounding here. Nvidia's very flat. Very flat. Again, Bitcoin hit a 4.5-month low. Look at gold, 39.50s here. Gold, 39.50s. Palantir pushing up to 193.20s here. Nvidia down to 202s, but definitely seeing some red right now at the open. I gotta wait here. This is kind of unpredictable. Look at the NASDAQ test these lows. We are falling down some here, chat. Red in the NASDAQ, Nvidia, Palantir, gold. Big drop showing up. Looks weak. Crack this low of the day level here. Palantir down to 188s. Nvidia down to 201s. It's a big red candle too at the opening bell. We're 4 minutes into the market open, guys. Maybe I'll short a bounce here, but that's a big drop, to be honest, coming through. There's a little pop-up here at this level here, but I don't know if I like it enough to short it. I'm gonna need a little bit larger of a bounce up to like 700s here, I think, if I'm gonna short this. It might reject here too, just based off of how weak this looks, but I think I have to wait. All right. I'm going to short here, maybe add a little bit up here to 700s. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to cut half there. I'm going to cut the hat very quick. Very quick. I'll take it. I'm going to buy this now. Try to go the other way. Let's see. Definitely risky right now, but I'll buy it. See if it pops up. Top 3 greediest ever right now. I'm going to cut it. Now we're kind of flat, but shorts look, if it pops back up now, definitely I'm greedy. There it is. Gold's still dropping 39.44s here. Look at Palantir, guys. Palantir down to 186. Nvidia down to 201s. Ah, dude, I should have held that long. Would have worked. I go long again here. Try. There we go. A little bit off. There we go. All right, we're back to green. Look at that run back up here. Wow, look at that green show up. I'm gonna short this now. There we go, we're back to green. There we go. I'm gonna cut a piece, another piece, and I'm gonna get out right there. Nice. All right. Very green since the opening bell now. I think we're just big range sideways right now is what I'm showing here. Nvidia's starting to rebound back up. Palantir's not. We haven't really got any news. We had EU and China senior officials held a call on export curbs today. Spot gold is down, of course, down to 39.40s. Ferrari CEO says business in the U.S. is proceeding as usual. Like, I tried to use Grok. Does anybody run into trouble using Grok? Like, it doesn't populate the answer. Does anybody run into trouble trying to use it? Because mine doesn't really work. And if I use the fast one, it just spits out nonsense. Like, the stuff it sends me is not even close to accurate. If I try to use the fast option. I think the fast option is probably better for, like, creating, like, text. Like, hey, write me this, you know. And again, I'm 90% sure the Jolts report's not coming out today. I might be wrong, though. MicroStrategy says company may occasionally offer or sell shares of viable rate interest Series A perpetual stretch preferred stock up to $4.2 billion. Anthropic projects $700 billion in revenue and $17 billion in cash flow in 2028. Projects $700 billion in revenue and $17 billion in cash flow in 2028. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to make that much in 2028 too, guys. Yeah, we're big range, but sideways this morning. AMD's up, though, ahead of their earnings report. Hey, later, Raymond. Gold. Palantir, Nvidia down. AMD up, though. Look at AMD on the bottom right. It's still down on the day, but it's green since the open now. It better not be, Andrew. Yeah, so Jolts is not coming out today, according to a couple different sources. All right, so we're seeing some bounce backs. Look at the green show up now. 10 minutes into the day here. Here's 725s. I think we're going to get over that, but maybe not. All right, so here we go. We're getting back higher here. Nvidia and Palantir are starting to rise a little bit more. Bitcoin bouncing back some as well here. Amazon moving up too. AMD earnings are this afternoon. All right, we're up to 760s here, 760s. It looks green. We're breaking out of the top of the range. I'll buy a pullback small. It needs to be a decent pullback, though. And I don't know if I'm going to get it. We just took a small pullback, but I don't know how much I like this. I'll try it. There we go. I'm gonna cut it right there. Small little scalp. Still struggling to hold though, so I'm scalping these moves. I think makes sense. Music stopped. I think so. Still bouncing at 750s here. I almost bought this too. I bought this in a different account, and we're green on 1, 2, 3, 4 green accounts today. Yeah, MicroStrategy, man. I mean, it talked about offerings this morning too. We'll see what happens. 253s right now. Bitcoin's been weak, you know what I mean? So it's not a shock. NASDAQ did bounce right there at 752. I should have held that, but it's all right. Again, no Jolts report today. Yeah, so the Department of Labor, the official shutdown plan for them states that the BLS will suspend all operations, including economic releases and all data collection activities. The only exception was made for the CPI report, which was legally required for Social Security. So no Jolts. Market looks strong right here, though. Starting to get another pullback here. I just don't trust it. Everything still looks kind of down to me in a lot of sectors. AMD starting to move up. We're at 254, so AMD still looking very strong. Gold's still looking pretty weak, but it's starting to bounce back over the last 15 minutes a little bit. Not a lot, though. Again, Jolts and factory orders are delayed due to the government shutdown. There's a little bit of a drop. All right, there's a big drop. Let's see if we retrace back up or what. But that's what I said. I just didn't really trust it. There's a 200 exponential. Let's see if we bounce there or not. Right at the 200 EMA. There we go. Look at that pop. We're right at the highs of the day here. Let's see if we break it. We can make a move here. All right, I am in green in this one. I'll go ahead and maybe add some to it and take a risk here if we pull back a little bit more ahead of the break of the highs. As long as I don't get like slammed down too crazy here, I'll hold through it. There we go. There we go. We're going to take a piece off there. Another piece off up there. I'll just cut it right there. Do you think the shutdown will end this week? I hope it does. I'm not necessarily confident it will, but I hope it does. Again, check out Top Step if you want to help support the channel. No PDT and futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, currencies. Most day traders lose money, and so it makes sense to limit your risk with something like this. You're risking something, so you're learning how to trade with risk, but it's $50 for the base one versus thousands. Potentially losing thousands like most new traders end up doing. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders lose. Limit your risk with something like this. But they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. Understand all the stuff on screen. Again, if you want to check them out, here's the link. They have their back to funded option. Lets you reset funded accounts with the same rules as normal funded accounts. Super, super reliable with payouts. You can check them out right here. Yeah, the account I'm trading on right now, I mean, my gains are pretty small, but this is the stats on it. On this account, we're on a, look at the NASDAQ break highs here. Look at this rip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row. And that's my Top Step funded account. Look at the NASDAQ fly here, guys. I mean, it's already still pretty down on the day here, so it's not like it's a crazy drop or anything, but... or a crazy move up, but NASDAQ's making a move up here. Holiday music? It's coming. again, can AMD save the market today? AMD has earnings this afternoon. We'll see what happens there. Nasdaq still climbing higher here. Look at this move. Wow. I almost want to short this. Still fighting his way higher here. All right, we took one account short up here at the top. I just want to see if we dip down a little bit here for me. Again, the problem is Nvidia is coming back here. I think it wants, we'll try to attack this level here with 3 contracts tops, though. See if we retrace back down around 850s. There's 850s. See if we reject, but I got to be prepared to cover this too. I'm going to reduce my size a little bit down here, bro. Just to protect myself. I don't want to risk too much going for green days. This is one of the only accounts I didn't trade today, and if we're not going to reject at 850s, I don't know when this bull move is going to stop. So I'll let it see if it rejects here at 850s real quick, but I will cut it. It's too strong. I'll go back to the other one I was trading. Where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's still fighting higher too. Look at Bitcoin. There's a little bit of a drop. Not really holding down though. We got 25 nines up there too. That might be a level. Again, will AMD earnings save the day? It could. AMD is one of the ones that's been moving up too. We're at 850s now. All right, we jump back in short just a little bit here, but I'll let it try. Maybe add to it if it starts to break down more. It's struggling to break down though. That 850 level's holding it up. All right, that's good. I'll try to short this again, but there we go. We're green. Take half of that off up there just to protect the trade. I might get squeezed out on the rest. Maybe not. I don't like that. Palantir's starting to run. Nvidia's starting to bounce. I'm going to cut it. I think we made money on the trade, though, actually, there. And Jolts would be coming out in a minute, but it's not coming out today, unfortunately. So we're net green. We are green in 1, 2, 3, 4. My funded accounts red in 1. I think that's an acceptable place to end it. Again, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT in futures. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose money. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. You're probably going to lose in the beginning. And so does it make any sense to fund your own account thousands of dollars trying to look cool in markets? Of course not. Try Top Step. Limited risk. Similar reward at 90% split once you're funded. They're super reliable at payouts, all that good stuff. I'll put the link up one more time. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. We'll see if Jolts... I'm just going to stick around just to see, but I'm pretty sure Jolts ain't coming out today. We don't even have an expectation for Jolts. Last time was 7.227 million, but we don't even have an expectation for Jolts today, so... All right, this is where it come out right now, but again, nothing on the tape anywhere. The president's tweeting again. President says energy costs, as an example, are plummeting, getting close to $2 a gallon gas. When energy goes down, everything else follows it, and it has. End quote. So the president is tweeting again. Let's see. He said, terminate the filibuster. If affordability is your issue. Yeah, I mean, he's just tweeting again. All right, again, I'm going to cut it. I'll show you guys my stats on the day. We're green mostly. The one account we're red on is this account, which are actually still net green on the account total. But in this one, we've had 2 losing days out of 4. Every other account, you got this one. Last few days, green on it. We have, this is actually a different account here. We're green on it. We got this one. I think it's a different account. Green on it. We got this one. Oh, we already went over that one. And then we've got this one, which is probably my best one. Green on it today as well right here. So we're green. I'll get out of here. Again, check out Top Step. Beautiful way to help support the channel. I'll get out of here, guys. Y'all be safe. Have a great day. As soon as I close the stream, it's going to bring you to tomorrow's stream. I expect you guys to wait. Sit around. Wait for me. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a